What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So I received a comment and I'm going to talk about this comment right here because this is very typical and this is going to be a constant conversation to basically spread awareness and to drill in people's heads that we will fight back in combat, the one drop rule being weaponized against us. So let's get into this comment here. So the comment reads, in the United States, historically speaking, mixed was never a separate category, especially after slavery. So this whole channel is pointless, lol. No, your statement is pointless. Mixed, meaning mulatto, was a separate category on the census from 1790 all the way until 1930, when they removed the mulatto category off the census. So this guy's comment is completely false. And so, like you say here, after slavery, right? Slavery officially was outlawed in what, 1864, 1865, around there. So literally 60 years after slavery, we still had a mulatto category. Continuing on, he puts, I'm guessing it's a he, but whatever. We were all thrown into the same pot. That is why the vast majority of African Americans have European DNA. Now, a large percentage of African Americans do in fact have European DNA, but we're talking about approximately like 10% or less. Like, who the hell out here is really walking around claiming, I'm 10% this? Only the conquered former slaves are doing that. So just because you have some admixture is not technically you are not a biracial. You are not mixed race. You are not a mulatto. Okay, so I'm definitely gatekeeping what it is to be a mulatto over here. Other people will dance around with that fact and they'll let you play that game because the whole purpose of these monoracial African Americans to say, well, most of us have European DNA, they're basically invalidating your experience being a biracial person. Okay, they're trying to gaslight you and they're trying to silence you and invalidate you. And they're trying to make it seem like you have no real grievances, that you should just shut up and put up with their black bullshit because, we all's mixed, right? But if you disagree with this monoracial African American, if you vote Republican or you disagree on anything politically, he will be the first person to tell you and remind you that you're mixed and you're not black like him or her, that you're not a dark skin, right? So they constantly play that game. That's one of their Blackistan gaslighting tactics. And that essentially falls in line with this whole comment of weaponizing the one drop rule against you. They want to pull you in and out of blackness to use you for their political benefit. They want to in-group you and out-group you when it's convenient. We see the tactics now and we're pointing it out and we're calling it out. So I wanted to put that there or point that out. And also when he puts initially here, when he said we were all thrown into the same pot. Now, a guy like this or a gal, guessing it's a guy, based on the words, he likes it like that. They want you in the same pot, so to speak, where you are a minority in their group. So therefore, they have access to you so they can abuse you and absorb you because they want your European genes. Okay, this is a fact. Continuing on, it wasn't until very recently that biracial folks have been able to identify as biracial. No, mulatto people have been identifying as mulatto people since the inception of this nation and even before. Just like you have Creole communities, Creole people have been identifying as Creole for literally centuries. So another false statement from this goofball, not surprised. And of course he puts here, one drop rule, dude. See that? They love the one drop rule. They love weaponizing the one drop rule because the whole reality is that they need you more than you need them. Okay. That's why they're constantly, bombarding your space, trying to remind you, oh, one drop rule, one drop rule. I had another guy, he was like, oh, one drop rule, baby. Like they love it. They embrace it. Right. Because they need us more than we need them. So they want to weaponize their masses rule against us to serve them. See, they really get mad when we push back. And because the whole thing is like they always whine and cry. when a mulatto or a mixed race person is in their spaces. Because I've seen these conspiracies and comments that they put about, oh, biracial people are always going into black spaces and trying to erase us. They're trying to take over our spaces and try to represent us. Don't they always cry about that in media? About people like Zendaya and Drake and Obama, all these mulattoes who are in the spotlight. They always whine and cry about us, about how, oh, they always go into black spaces and try to spy on us. But then here I have a channel to create my own space. You have these same pro-blacks, okay, these one-droppers who come into my space trying to pull me back onto their plantation. And I'm saying, the hell with you. We see the strategies you people are doing, and it's being called out. So continuing on. Even until this day, legally, you are black. Legally, I am what I check. So I check multiracial every opportunity I get. I've even checked white several times. Well, I'm half white. Through my mother, I was conceived out of the womb of a white woman. So that's my right, my birthright to check that. And that's really why a lot of these people are upset, because they can't, right? They want to check that 2% Indian they have or that negative 5% European they have, right? They want to check that. But me and you are not the same, homie. So when he puts here, the powers that be, your massa, right? The powers that be, that's yo massa, right? Can care less that you are mixed. No, they know that I'm mixed. They're acknowledging that we're mixed. That's why today in 2024, all over the place, you have this reemergence of this multiracial classification on all applications. All these job applications that recently I've been filling out and all these other surveys that I've done, they have a multiracial or check 2 or more races or biracial box. I have evidence and receipts of that. So no, it's funny how this guy says the powers that be, his massa, care less that you are mixed. Why are they asking us? They're asking us to self-identify. And we are, especially people like me, proudly mulatto, biracial. Okay. I don't just check black. I don't have to check black. I'm just as white as I am black. And I am proudly just as white as I am black. And that's why mulatto is extremely fitting. And that's why a lot of you people are pressed, because they want to bring us down into blackness so they can use us and absorb us. And I'm one of the guys out here that's like, nah, you people got to start paying us now, because guess what, homie? You need us more than we need you. Finishing it off, he puts, you are still an N-word in any court of law. So you guys see the kind of negativity and also the just shameful nature of how they think, how the misery loves company. This comment that this guy put perfectly explains their kind of defeated, conquered slave mentality, where they weaponize the one-drop rule, misery loves company, where he identifies himself as an N-word. You see that? The finishing statement, you are still an N-word in any court of law. It's like, really? First of all, court of law, like I'm a law-abiding citizen. I stay the hell away from court and all that stuff as much as I can. So I'm not in trouble. Like, I don't glamorize thuggery and savagery like a lot of you people. That's the big difference. I'm laying out these clear lines of distinction. But I really wanted to highlight this comment because this is very constant of what I see. If you have a social media presence and you're affirming your biraciality or mulatto-ness, you are standing firm and challenging the rhetoric, and you're also questioning the philosophies and the tactics that people use, you're always going to have these type of characters, these misery loves company, crabs in a bucket, one-droppers who weaponize the one-drop rule against you. And the only thing they have is scare tactics in today's day and age. But all their little petty, futile attempts, they're not working. But they still continuously try. But it's good for me, I guess, because it gives me good content to talk about. Let me know what you guys think. Post a comment. Let's keep the conversation going. Peace.